Hi, I'm Jason Sullivan of Rathbone Group, and in this episode of On Subrogation, we're going to discuss bailment. What is bailment? Bailment is when property owned by an individual is taken and given to another person where they have possession of it, but they don't actually transfer title. Common examples we see in the subrogation world are you take your vehicle to an auto body collision shop to have it repaired. The owner of the vehicle is not selling the car to the auto body shop, but they are giving them possession to work on it. The question that comes up in subrogation cases is, what happens if that property is damaged while it's in the hands of that person who received it from the owner? Two important terms to start with are bailor. That's the person who owns the property and gives possession of it to another person. The bailee is the person who takes possession of it. If that property is damaged while in the possession of the bailee, the question is that bailee responsible? To answer that, there are three different types of bailment. The first would be where the bailment is for the benefit of the bailor only. Think about a restaurant that has a free coat check. You go in, you own your coat, you take your coat off, you put it in the coat check, you're not paying the restaurant anything, and you leave it there. In that case, the bailee, the restaurant, is only going to have liability for extreme misconduct or recklessness. The second type of bailment would be for the benefit of the bailee only. In this case, think about a library book. The library owns the book, you go in, you check it out, you're the bailee, you take possession. You haven't actually purchased the book, you just have possession of it to use for your enjoyment and to read. The question is, if the book is damaged while in the bailee, your possession, are you liable? And because the benefit is for the bailee only, you're not paying the library, at least directly, for that book or anything, then the bailee has a higher duty and a higher standard of care and can be found liable even for slight negligence. The third and most common type is mutual benefit bailment. In this case, the bailor and the bailee both benefit from the relationship. Take again the example of taking your car into an auto body shop. You get the benefit of having your car repaired. The shop gets the benefit of being paid. So there's a mutual benefit. And in that case, the law is going to apply a regular standard negligence. They're going to look at the ordinary care that a reasonable body shop takes in protecting that vehicle so that it's returned to you in the same condition. Now, let's look at an example of a case that might be a little bit confusing in whether or not it's a bailment. You take your car, you're driving to a large metropolitan area, you're going to park, you're going to go to dinner for the night, and you pull into a self-park parking garage. You go, you have your dinner, maybe you see a show, you go back to your car and your car is damaged. Is that a bailment? And in most cases it's not, because when you pulled into that parking garage, you didn't actually give possession of your car to anyone. You're leasing a parking space, and so the rules of bailment don't apply. There still may be negligence on the parking garage or another driver who damaged your vehicle, but it's not going to be a bailment cause of action. Contrast that with, you go to the same metropolitan area, you drive up to the restaurant, and you give your keys to the valet. Now we have a bailment because you still own the car, but now you've given possession to it for another person. And the valet is going to have the duty and responsibility to return the car in the same condition. If they don't, now we have to look at what kind of bailment is it. Is it for your benefit only, a benefit only for the bailor, in which we're going to look for gross misconduct or recklessness on part of the valet? Or did you have to pay for that valet, and now we're going to hold the valet to the general standard of care of a reasonable valet in protecting that car? For bailment, you always want to look at who owns the vehicle, did they actually transfer possession to another person, and then who's benefiting from the relationship. In most cases, you're going to find that there's a mutual benefit and there's an exchange of payment for services for some reason between both parties so that both benefit. And in that case, you're going to look for the general standard of care. If you have any questions or topics you'd like to see addressed in this video series on subrogation, please let us know at video@rathbonegroup.com. For On Subrogation, I'm Jason Sullivan, and that's the long and short of it.